Cosas del nuevo set 8, que aún no sale hasta de aquí un mes, ¿no? A ver, nosotros estamos ahora focuseados en meternos en el mundial del set 7, pero bueno, sigamos este vídeo.
Gameplay director on TFT, and I'm here to discuss our next set, providing a few spoilers on traits and units to come, as well as an update on TFT's mechanics. After that, I'll pass it to Mariah.
Cambios en TFT, en mecánicas de TFT, ojito,
Personalization content and discuss the future of events before we take a look at our roadmap
Os voy a poner
for
los
TFT in
subtítulos.
2023. All right, so allow me to introduce our next set, Teamfight Tactics, Monsters Attack.
Monsters Attack. ¡A la mierda los dragones! ¡Let's go!
Absurdity ensues as an unlikely group of heroes band together against titanic awakened threats. Welcome to Spatulopolis, a city brimming with heroes, threats, and the resulting wreckage, minded debris. Coming
¿Qué?
patch 1223.
O sea, se fueron los dragones y vienen monstruos gigantes que atacan las ciudades del TFT.
Our next set brings a new set of traits more heroic than anything the Convergence has seen. It'll also herald the return of familiar favorites like Mech.
¡Oh! ¡Los mechs!
And Star Guardian, but with big twists from their galaxy's counterparts. But before we get into traits, let's briefly discuss our new set's mechanics, and more specifically, augments.
¿Qué pasa con los augments? Augments in our next set and beyond.
First off, the big one. Augments are now an evergreen mechanic to TFT.
¿Qué significa evergreen mechanic?
For those who aren't botanists, this means that augments will stick around set after set, in addition to new mechanics that come and go with each set.
Ok, que se quedan siempre los aumentos. A mí me parece bien, ¿eh? Yo creo que los aumentos están muy guapos. A mí me mola el tema de los aumentos y eso. Hay últimamente una corriente de gente hateando los aumentos. A mí me gustan. Yo creo que los aumentos, si juegas pocas partidas, quizá puede llegar a ser un poco putada, pero si juegas muchas te permite que cada partida sea un poco distinta, ¿sabes? O sea, el TFT, sobre todo para la gente que jugamos tantas partidas como yo, necesitamos que haya algo. O como lo de las galaxias del set 3, o como lo de los aumentos. Pero que cada partida, por mucho que sea el mismo juego, cambie bastante, porque si no es jodido.
When we introduced augments and gizmos and gadgets, we had no expectations that they would stay around for Dragonlands and beyond, but after extensive polling and internal testing of Dragonlands with and without augments, it became clear that augments were not just something we wanted to continue tinkering with, they were something that the overwhelming majority of our players wanted to keep. Augments provide moments of high-stakes decision-making that allow you to come up with more strategically creative comps and leads to a fresh experience game after game. They also unlock endless possibilities from a game design perspective, and we've just scratched the surface on what we can do with them. Of course,
estoy de acuerdo. Es que encima, la posibilidad que te da con los aumentos, puedes hacer cosas muy, muy guapas, ¿eh? Tú piensas que incluso podría haber... Ahora existen aumentos plateados, dorados y prismáticos, pero es que pueden hacer lo que les salga de la polla. Podría haber un aumento infernal, y que de aumentos infernales literalmente solo haya 3, y siempre solo haya únicamente 3, y tengas que escoger esos 3. Y que uno de esos sea Cruel Pact, el otro sea lo de la doble font, ¿sabes? O sea, no sé. Se puede hacer... Es que con los aumentos tienes libertad para hacer lo que te salga del pito. Te lo digo en serio.
augments will change set to set, and a bit in mid-sets, to better complement new traits, units, and thematics. But in addition to swapping a portion of our augment roster for our next set, we're also using them in a new way as our set mechanic, one that feels uniquely heroic or villainous in accordance with our theme. In our next set, we're introducing Hero Augments, an entirely new roster of augments.
Oh, Hero Augments.
Instead of having blanket effects, Hero Augments buff a specific unit. These augments allow you to make your chosen hero a super.
Uy, 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 uy. A superhero, a supervillain. Uy, 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 uy. Esto me está dando miedo, ¿eh? Esto me está dando miedo. De primeras me acojona.
Hero, or supervillain if that's more your style. We're still superfying these augments at the time.
Es que cuando puedes hacer con estas cosas, suena divertido, en su cabeza suena genial, en su cabeza era maravilloso, pero a la hora de balancear el juego es muy jodida una mecánica así. ¿Por qué? Porque un campeón, como por ejemplo Olaf, quizá Olaf siendo una ficha normal, lo puedes balancear bajándole un poco la D, bajándole tal, Pero en el momento que le puedes meter un aumento de supervillano, Olaf se te va de las manos y está increíblemente roto. Y para balancearlo tienes que hacer que tampoco se pueda jugar como ficha normal sin que sea villano, ¿sabes? Es complicado, te lo digo. Esas mecánicas yo creo que se meten en fregados que después es normal que no puedan balancear el juego. Pero bueno, vamos a ver. Ruby, gracias por los 18 meses.
I'm recording this, but here are a few early samples that are still a work in progress. One of Alistar's hero augments turns his single target knockup Pulverize into an AoE and gives him a bunch of health. His other hero augment, Beef Up, gives his Pulverize ability max health scaling.
Y claro, va a haber héroes que van a ser Dios. O sea, va a haber campeones que si te sale el héroe ese va a estar mucho más roto que otros. A mí esto ya me está rayando un poco. Pero bueno, puede estar bien, puede ser la polla, ¿eh? Si lo hacen increíble será la polla, me imagino. Pero me acojona, o sea, suerte para balancear esta movida.
They're also called hero augments, because even bad guys deserve a chance at playing the hero. For instance, Supersize grants Zack a ton of health, literally 2,000, and immunity to crowd control, while also giving you a Zack. Since both Zack's ability and his passive have max health scaling, this augment makes this threat exactly that. As you can tell, hero augments are quite powerful. They'll take your chosen unit to the moon, so we've added a couple controls to keep these heroes in orbit.
A ver. Zumi, at the start of the combat, Yumi le da a sus aliados 20% de attack speed bonus y te da una Yumi. Burning Spirit. Al principio del combate, Annie y sus aliados ganan 20 de AP. Y esto se triplica si están debajo de la mitad de la vida. Y Channeled Ferromancy. Al principio del combate, Rel y sus aliados ganan 20 de armadura de resistencia mágica y ganan 5 veces más cada... O sea, y ganan 5 más cada vez que gastean.
Augment selections can replace any of the original 3 augment rounds, but they're only offered once per game.
Ok, solo pueden salir... O sea, esto puede salir en cualquier momento, pero solo una vez por partida. ¿Y esto del medio? ¿De Cosmic Terror? A ver, eso es la de Sona. Claro, es que cada campeón va a tener su aumento, ¿no? Va a haber uno de cada uno, ¿no? Y te obliga a jugar alrededor de esto. Al principio del combate, Jax y sus aliados ganan 25% de esto de dodgear. Y aquí es el de Sona. Sona gana 3 de maná por segundo y cada 3 casteos Sona tiene 10 de habilidad de AP extra. Ah, no, les da a los aliados, Blul. Cosmic Terror. O sea, este es como de villano, ¿no? Cho'Gath gana 90 de resistencia mágica extra. Y cuanta más The Higher Magic Resist Cho'Gath Shares, 30%. Y le da la resistencia mágica a sus aliados. A ver, puede estar guapo, puede estar guapo. Y claro, cada uno tiene el suyo. Mira, ese es el de Yasuo. Yasuo da 10% de Omnivan para todos. Y les cura 50% del daño que haga con Hasagi, que será la R, ¿no? Y el R-Real, Your Strongest R-Real grants his nearest ally un artefacto.
Providing different options for you to choose from. At TFT, we truly believe that anyone can be the hero, which is why every unit will have 2 hero augments specific to them. All of these different options for souping up your heroes and threats allow for plenty of different super teams to save the day, or smash it to smithereens. With hero augments creating so many possibilities, we're excited to see what players come up with. Now, let's talk gameplay.
Gameplay spoilers.
Before we get into specifics about units, there are...
O sea, cada campeón va a tener 2 aumentos de héroe. El de villano y el normal, ¿no? Me imagino. O quizás solo algunos son villanos, pero cada campeón tiene 2 aumentos.
There are 2 things that you should know. First, there won't be any units that take up 2 slots in your army. Our next set is about building your team of heroes.
Ya no va a haber rollo dragones, ni colosales, ni pollas. Todas las unidades ocupan un slot.
And last I checked, you can spell team without dragon or colossus. Second, RAMMUS will, of course, continue to be excluded from TFT.
Hey, Mort.
TFT is simply a better game without a spiky armadillo.
Mort,
What? Was that the wrong line?
Mort, RAMMUS is in the set.
Who allowed? I never said RAMMUS could be in freaking... Okay, so apparently RAMMUS is making his TFT debut as a threat to my sanity, but also is one of the
No.
powerful units in the
No.
all-new threat trait.
No.
My sanity, but also is one of
No.
the powerful, making his TFT debut as a threat to my sanity,
No,
but also
para
is
esto
one
que
of
no
the
lo
powerful
saquen.
units in the all-new threat trait.
No.
Turns out our next set isn't all. Is one
Ya
of
te
the
digo una cosa, que
powerful
o sea,
units
¿eso es
in
un Rammus?
TFT debut,
¿Esto es un Rammus?
as a
Es una
threat
puta
to my
abeja que me estás
sanity.
contando.
but also is one of the powerful units in the all-new threat trait. Turns out our next set isn't all Star Guardians and Sunshine. The threat trait is our first trait that's not really a trait. Threats do not benefit from fielding other threats, and they have
Threats do not benefit from fielding other threats.
no other traits. To compensate, these units are more powerful than other units. You can still field any number of them, which makes them like a good rain boot, splashable and flexible. Next up, we've got the spatula.
O sea, ¿esto qué pollas es? O sea, hay como cosas, o sea, lo que hay es como amenazas, ¿no? Threat es amenaza. O sea, te está diciendo que básicamente hay amenazas que son el Zack, el Rammus y eso creo que es Velvet, ¿no? Y no tienen ninguna sinergia, simplemente es una ficha que flipas de
Fielding
broken.
other threats, and they have no other traits. To compensate, these units are more powerful than other units. You can still field any number of them, which makes them like a good rain boot, splashable and flexible. Next up, we've got the Spatulopolis fan favorite Anima Squad. The first time an Anima Squad unit gets a takedown during combat, they pause to strike a pose for their fans, gaining a stack of fame. Each point of fame gives Anima Squaddies a
O sea, dice que hay unos de estos que se llaman Anima, que después de matar a alguien pausan para saludar a sus fans, que sus fans son estos de aquí, me imagino, o los de aquí. Qué tablero más guapo, por cierto. Y ganan entonces AP y AD.
ability power and attack damage that increases at each trait breakpoint. If stacking big numbers like you could with Vagar and Fates is your game, look no further
que
than
van
Anima
escalando.
Squad. And better yet, Nasus, whose ability Bonk can be
Nasus
upgraded with
con la
a hero
Q.
augment to give it its stacking mechanic all of its own.
Nasus tiene
Heroes
la Q.
come in all shapes and sizes and all heroic alignments. Take Underground, for example. Sure, they may not be the most heroic heroes, always scheming to pull off a big heist, but they get the job done. It just may not be the job you wanted done. The Underground are a group of rapscallions that are perpetually attempting a heist. With
Yep. Group of Rapscallion that are perpetually attempting a heist. Brother, por favor, ¿nos podemos poner el inglés para chavales que yo que encima ni siquiera mi inglés es horrible, pero ¿qué polla significa Rapscallion? Y perpetually attempting a heist. Heist es robo, ¿no? Atraco. ¿Y Rapscallion qué significa? Ah, Rapscallion es runa escama.
Under a group of rapscallions that are perpetually attempting a heist. With each player combat, you will move towards completing your heist, getting 1 progress for a win and 2 for a loss.
Oh.
Each time you hit 7 progress, you and your crew are offered some heist rewards.
Oh, eso está guapo. O sea, son como los mercenarios del set que si pierdes te consigues 2 progresos y si ganas 1. Y cuando llegas a 7 te dan, pues eso, aquí le están dando o un ítem o 8 de oro, por
Up to you
ejemplo.
to take what's offered or to hold out for more powerful rewards.
Oh, o no pillarlo para que te den algo mejor. Oh, eso me
Just make
mola,
sure you can complete your heist before you get carried away to an unfortunate fate. I can't wait to see how far you can take your
Oh, este ha llegado y le han dado 2 objetos radiantes y uno de oro.
heist with the
3
Underground.
radiantes.
There are plenty more super squads to uncover, such as the Steadfast
Eso
Ox
está guapo,
Force,
Esto me mola mucho,
that will fight to the bitter end and then some. This crew is led by Gun Maestro and Sad Boy
¿Qué es eso?
and then some.
¿Cómo? Había un bicho que costaba vida como el timo de antaño.
Just the Steadfast Ox Force, that will fight to the bitter end and then some. This crew is led by Gun Maestro and Sad Boy Aphelios, whose custom trait Arsenal allows you to swap between weapons to change his ability.
What the fuck?
Aphelios' ability isn't the only thing you can customize in our next set. We've also got a customizable trait. Admin allows you to
¡No! ¡Blitzcrank! ¡No! De verdad, tío. Bueno, que no tenga el gancho. Bueno, claro que va a tener el
Configure
gancho.
the cause and effect of your admin program, aka the trait. With admin, you'll be able to pick a cause, and then you'll be able to pair that cause with an effect.
¿Cómo?
For instance, you can combine at the start of combat with trigger a chance to drop gold
Oh.
to play admin as an econ trait that gives you a gold each round. There are 7 total causes and 7 total effects to choose from. Each
What the
effect
fuck?
is balanced around how easy or difficult the cause is to trigger. Admin is an exciting trait for me, not just because it has so many different power levels, but also because it gives players an opportunity to put on their game designer hats when building their comp. Just be careful, if you play admin too long, you may just find yourself getting mort-dogged by yourself. Self-dogged? But this is a set about heroes, and what more heroic traits to talk about than the returning Star Guardian? Like their galaxy's counterparts, Star Guardians interact with mana, but instead of distributing mana to each other, Star Guardians generate more and more mana as you go up in trait breakpoints. This can lead to some wildly explosive fights as the spells start slinging faster and faster. Just look at the chaos. Alright, it's time I pass it to my teammate Mariah over in the Singapore office to discuss personalization content,
Mariah.
events, and more. But don't worry, we'll have time to talk more at the end of this dev drop.
Cosmetic spoilers.
Hello everyone, I'm Mariah, one of the producers for cosmetics on TFT. I've been with Riot for over 7 years, with more than 2 of those on TFT. Also, I have an adorable but very mean cat called Chocolate.
Oh, gordito.
It's been amazing to be part of TFT's growth over the past 7, soon to be 8 sets. And I'm here to share where we are going with personalization content in our next set and beyond. First up,
La palabra beyond como que mola mucho, ¿no? Y más beyond.
is one of our most ambitious arena yet. Our mythic arena, Everything Goes On, is a love letter to the Star Guardian universe and its fans, with Easter eggs dating back to
Está
lore
guapa,
from
eh?
the original Star Guardian lineup, as well as an all-new intro ceremony that will allow your tactician to live out their very own magical schoolgirl fantasy. Even Baron can be a Star Guardian in
¡Hostia!
TFT. And one of the coolest part of this new arena? Well, it's actually better if you hear it yourself.
Uy.
Having a Star Guardian arena wouldn't be complete without new Star Guardian chibis. So,
Oh, qué guapa la Ari.
we're bringing fan favorites Lux and Ari to
Cómo me
life as
gusta mi
space
zorrita.
chibis and as Star Guardians. By now, we know that every chibi variant comes with an exclusive finisher. These chibi finishers will have all of the sparkle and magic you'd expect from
Oye,
Star
eso parecía
Guardians.
Sakura, ¿no?
It's not always about the combat. Sometimes it's more about the glamorous style that can only be obtained
Chavales, Ari es una zorra. De 7 colas. ¿Qué pasa? ¿No le puedo llamar zorrita?
with a magical transformation.
Joder,
Lux
tío,
will
os
be
escandalizáis
released
por
first,
todo.
followed by Ari a couple patches later. With this set, and in the future,
O sea, gatita. Si es un gato, está bien. O sea, si es una gata, decir gatita, bien. Pero si es una zorra, zorrita. ¿Tenéis trauma con la palabra zorra o qué? Existen las zorras y los zorros. Es un
you
animal.
can expect to see
Y
a
Ari es una
broader
zorra.
range of styles for
No
our
en el mal
cosmetics
sentido.
option, so that
Una
you can
zorrita.
express yourself to the fullest. At TFT, we're really good at making cute stuff. I mean, really good. But with our next set, we're introducing little legends that would be offended if you call them cute. Even though they're pretty cute. You've already met Baron, but they're just
Te digo una cosa. Este Baron es un poco raro. O sea, este Baron. O sea. A ver. Es que mira, o sea, a ver. O sea, el Barón es que ha evolucionado de ser esto. Así, peligroso, un bicho que cuesta que lo mates, a esto. O sea, a ver. Nos estamos columpiando un poco, TFT.
one little baddie joining the crew. There's Gristle, whose passion is long walks in fragile cities. And then there's
¿Y esto
Whisker,
qué pollas son?
whose
¿Quién es
passion
este
is
y el
long
otro?
walks in fragile cities. And then there's Whisker, They are pure evil, and they're always up to something. That kind of remind me of my cat in that way. Alright,
¿Quién
that's
cojones
it
es
for
eso?
cosmetic spoilers. Let's talk about events.
Events. ¿Eso qué se refiere a torneos o...?
We've had a few events up to now. Skyglass, Gift of the Golden Lantern, and most recently, Secrets of the Shallows. Each event brings additional fun and thematic flair to TFT, but we think we can do even more. In addition to bringing new arenas, tacticians, and narrative adventures like you've seen in Secrets of the Shallows, our next event, targeted for early 2023, will feature a new limited time game mode. It's an exciting step towards...
Por favor, que podamos viajar en el pasado, al pasado. Quiero poder volver a jugar el set 1, tío. Alguna partida. Molaría que hubiese un set en rotación. Normales, ni ranked, no hace falta. Pero poder jugar el set 1 durante un fin de semana, tío. El set 2 durante un fin de semana. Movidas así.
Innovating on what events can offer. Look forward to more details on our next event and game mode as we get closer to release. Now, I'm going to welcome back Mort to share some spoilers for the future of TFT. That's right, we are entering the spoiler zone.
Roadmap. A ver, aquí, ojito que aquí se pueden venir cosas muy guapas, Ojito que quizá te enseñan un peluche y te dicen que van a sacar merchandising de TFT, o quizá hacen cosas guapas. Porque tú imagínate que en el TFT dijesen, ok, nos vamos a tomar este juego en serio, vamos a hacer un competitivo de verdad, vamos a hacer como una LEC, vamos a hacer... O sea, se pueden hacer muchas movidas,
Thanks, Mariah.
Que no va a ser eso, pero yo sueño con que algún día anuncien cosas guapas de verdad para el TFT.
Now let's take a look at where TFT is heading. Starting with patch 1223 in early December, the next set will have you building your super team and utilizing hero augments to lead your squad to victory. Then we'll usher in the new year with an event that'll come with its own themed game mode for the event's duration.
Esto es Winter 2022, empieza el nuevo set, new event, new mid set, summer, our next set. You better brush up on your history before this one. ¿Cómo? TFT turns 4 time to... cuarto cumpleaños. Otro mid set y en enero an even newer set. Okay.
Just after that, in March, we'll see what the future of Spatulopolis holds in our next mid set. And in the summer of next year, there'll be a brand new set to enjoy as TFT turns 4. Wow, 4. That's how old I was when I grew my first beard. As you can see, we've got lots to do over here at TFT, so I better get back to it. Until next time, take it easy.
Bueno, a ver, no han anunciado nada increíble. Pero tiene buena pinta, ¿no? Puede estar guapo, veremos. De momento esa es la información que hay. Nosotros nos vamos al Mundial.